What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a Stasis Titan build that revolves around the exotic Hoarfrost Z. Hoarfrost's perk reads as follows: Glacial Fortification. When using the Stasis subclass, your barricade becomes a wall of stasis crystals that slows nearby targets when created. Standing behind this barricade will grant you and your allies increased weapon reload speed, stability, and range. So basically the way this build's going to work is we're going to be creating all of these walls of stasis crystals that is going to essentially work as a rally barricade, and it's going to be giving us a boost to weapon range, reload, stability, and we're going to be constantly spamming our abilities because of stasis crystals. Before we get into the build here though, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys dropping in and watching. Without further ado, let's get into the build here. So in our subclass here, we're going to be running the Behemoth Titan, obviously on stasis with Towering Barricade is what I use. Obviously, the barricade does not matter as it's going to be a wall of stasis crystals. I use Catapult Lift because that is my preferred lift for movement abilities on Titan. And then for your crystals here, I'm going to be running Glacier Crystals. Glacier Crystals are a phenomenal grenade for the Stasis subclass, as you can do a ton of damage with Shattering, and that is going to pair nicely with one of our aspects. For our aspects here, we're going to be running Cryoclasm, and after sprinting for a short while, it enables a longer and more powerful slide, and when you slide into a stasis crystal or a frozen target, it will shatter them and any nearby frozen targets, which is why we have Glacier Nades, because we're going to be sliding into them, creating a ton of shatter damage. For our second aspect here, we're going to be running Tectonic Harvest. Shattering a stasis crystal creates a stasis shard, and this shard grants you melee energy when you pick it up or when your allies pick it up. Again, this is going to pair nicely with our Shiver Strike melee ability. We'll be able to do this quite a bit more, and we're going to be kind of just spamming our abilities. For our fragment here, we're going to start off with the Whisper of Rhyme. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which will fall off after 10 seconds. And the more you collect, the longer the timer is, and it adds to the overshield. This pairs perfectly with Tectonic Harvest, as we're going to be creating stasis shards after we shatter stasis crystals. Next up on the list is Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards will track to your position, as well as getting a nice boost to resilience as well as intellect. This is perfect as it basically works as Seeking Wells, but it's part of your fragments, and you get a nice increase to some stats as well. For our third fragment here, we're going to be running Whisper of Fissures. This increases the damage and size of the burst of a stasis crystal when you destroy one and or defeat a frozen target, which we're going to be doing a lot with our slide, and it's just going to pair perfectly. We're going to be doing a lot of damage with our stasis crystal explosion. Our fourth fragment here is Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate, and shattering more crystals increases the duration of this benefit, and we also get a +10 to resilience. This pairs perfectly with everything that we have in our build here, as we're going to be spamming grenades because of our increased regen rate. We're going to be having our barricade that we're going to be able to slide into with Hoarfrost Z. We're going to be constantly creating these stasis shards from the stasis crystals. We're going to be having our ability regen left, right, and center. For our weapons here, you can kind of use whatever you want. If you want to run stasis weapons to just pair nicely with the stasis club subclass, you definitely can. However, your weaponry does not matter. Just kind of use whatever you're comfortable with, whether that be some movement weapons like an Eager Edge Sword, or if you want to do some damage with a linear fusion rifle or a rocket launcher, or if you want to run an SMG and a GL like Wither Horde and the Ikelos SMG, or the new Stasis SMG from Vanguard, and something like a Wave Frame. For our mods here though, what we're going to be running on our helmet is Firepower. The reason we're running Firepower is because we want to spam our grenades so we can slide into them, creating our stasis shards and creating a lot of damage with those stasis explosions. On our gauntlets, we're going to be running Reaping Wellmaker, which may seem a little odd to you, as because we're running a stasis subclass, we're going to be creating Void Wells. However, this is actually going to pair really nicely with Well of Tenacity. So anytime we pop our stasis shield, we're going to be spawning a Void Elemental Well on our next kill, and then we can pick that up for a ×3 resist thanks to Well of Tenacity. So on top of our 100 resil, which I would recommend you go for in this build to have a constant shield up, as well as being able to spam Reaping Wellmaker, and you have the 40% damage reduction because of 100 resil. On our chest here, we're going to be running Elemental Charge, as anytime we pick up a Stasis Well or a Void Well, we're going to become charged with light, which pairs with our Firepower. And then lastly, on our mark here, we're going to be running elemental shards, which actually allows the stasis shards to count as stasis elemental wells. So anytime we collect a stasis shard, it is going to count as an elemental well, charging us with light, as well as giving us a slight boost to our abilities. Overall, this build revolves around you sliding into your crystals, creating your barricades of stasis crystals, sliding into those crystals, getting your melee energy back, your grenade energy back, your barricade energy back, throwing your grenades, sliding into those, just kind of doing explosions left, right, and center with stasis. It is a lot of fun to use. If you guys enjoyed this build, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to try this out, if you've gotten yourself a Hoarfrost Z from the Lost Sectors, or if you've already tried a build similar to this, let me know how you like it down below. I appreciate you guys making it through to the end of the video here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.